So I had some people ask me to make a new Vera video because the other one required a limited artifact miscon file. So here's a Vera team that is pretty fast, a little under 7 minutes. I think I could speed it up a little bit if I changed a few things, but I hope you enjoy this fight. It doesn't use any ML5s, it doesn't use any limited units, and it doesn't use any limited artifacts. The first part of this team is running Lilius. Lilius is going to be our cleansing unit, so you want to make sure she can't be silenced. So you want to run her with 200% effect resistance. It shouldn't be that hard to stack it because she doesn't need really any other stats other than to be the fastest unit on the team. If you're struggling to hit that 200% ER, you can use an ER based artifact like Bastion of Hope. I ran Nostalgic Music Box, just, figured it might help out a little bit with the buffs. If you can hit the ER, the artifact doesn't really matter. Run anything you like. Next is going to be Mascot Hazel. Just make sure she's the second fastest unit on the team. Other than that, her stats don't matter. Mine's even level 50. I put her on Prophetic Candlestick because I thought it might help cycle her skills. A healing artifact would probably be a little bit better for you. Third unit is Mercedes. Mine is pretty strong. She's got a lot of damage to her. Still think her own artifact's the best for this. She's going to be the main one that clears the eggs on phase 1, so you want to build her strong. She doesn't have to quite be this strong, but she needs to be the third unit to go in the rotation. And finally is you're going to be your damage dealer, your main nuker. I'm using Fire Sirmia for this. I put her on my best Rage Pen set. I did it about 1 minute slower with a really scuffed attack set and way lower stats. I just wanted to see how fast I could do it, so I put the best set I had on her. Give her a damage based artifact. You could also run Portrait of the Saviors, and if you want to stabilize it, you can run Sigur's Scythe. Sigur's Scythe will allow her to self-heal, which will keep her fragile butt intact. If you want, instead of running Sirmia, you can run... Where is he? Here we go. Edward Elric. More stable than Sirmia and actually a little bit faster with his cycling and his inability to be debuffed. I think pound for pound he's the ideal unit to run for this, but I was trying to avoid limited units. Charlotte is also incredibly safe. She'll slow the team down by 2 or 3 minutes, but if you have her on lifesteal, she is a powerhouse for this fight. Eventually, when you get to the end, you can just start soul burning her S3 over and over again and have a pretty safe clear. The ultimate free-to-play option would be Zealot Carmen Rose. I haven't tested her, but I see no reason why she wouldn't work. She's got the damage and she's got strips. Now this is the important part that you can't skimp on. You have to take Xeon. He is got a defense break that ignores ER, so he will let you drop a defense break when you need it the most in phase 2, and that's what makes this team so stable. In fact, it makes it darn near impossible to fail. So we'll speed up and run to the boss. Run it on full auto until you fight this plague boss. Once you fight the plague boss, do the next fight on manual and just use your S1 skills. That way you'll be at full skills and ready to camp to go into the big fight. You can use the potions to top off any missing health you might have.
According to Chandran mythology, we were all created by the stars. Though, of course, there's always one star that shines brighter than all the rest.
I can feel it. If you bet now, you will make a ton of money. Trust me, go all in.
Once you're camped up, your morale will be back in the green, and you'll be ready to fight the boss with all of your skills off of their cooldowns and a full bar of souls. Now, I restarted because I realized I had my Mercedes in the wrong place. I wanted her to benefit from the imprint from Lilius, so I just quickly ran out and ran back in, swapping the positions of the units. So, because your Lilius has 200% effect resistance, she can't be debuffed, which will allow her to cleanse everybody else on your team. This allows Mascot Hazel to do her S3 and give greater attack buff to Sirmia and attack buff to Mercedes. An attack buff Mercedes should either kill or come close to killing all the ads. It's a little bit faster if you kill all the ads. Putting crit chance on Lilius will make that cleaner, and I probably would have shaved about 30 seconds off this fight if I had done that. Once all the ads are dead, you can start focusing on Vera and get her down to 50% as quickly as possible. I've got my greater attack buff, so there's no reason to use her S2 at that point. A lot of how fast this phase clears depends on Sirmia's EE proccing and getting a double strike, and whether or not she dual attacks with Lilius.
Nice. I shall honor you with my presence.
I don't have greater attack buff now, but I don't want to waste it yet. I want to have it for stage 3. But you know what? Hindsight being 2020, she would have been right there to give greater attack buff, so I probably could have popped the S2 into the S3. And that might have even pushed phase, but I'm going to lose about a minute of this fight because I didn't get phase the first set of actions. So as you can see, there's room for improvement on the speed of this team, but I wanted it to be somewhat realistic, so I didn't just sit here and grind until I got a perfect rotation. We have to kill off the eggs first.
I'll show you who's in charge. This way.
On my way.
So you can see why having Sigurd's Scythe on Sirmia might not be a terrible idea to keep her healthy.
Preparation complete.
I can't do this.
Mascot Hazel does a pretty substantial job keeping the health up. Okay, I got the double hit, so we pushed to 50% and we proc into the egg phase. Now the nice thing about Xeon is if you use him, you still get an extra turn. So he does terrific damage, and he gives a automatic defense break to everybody that can be defense broken. It can't be resisted, it can't be 15%, you just get it, and you still get to take your turn. He doesn't take any turns away. The only negative about him is he uses so many souls. But now we've got a 2-turn defense break on the egg. Sirmia is ready to take her turn. Her S3 is ready, and she's got greater attack buff on. So this will hit very hard. And that's with speed boots. If you run it with attack boots, you'll one-shot, but if you run it with attack boots, it might be a little harder to time and tune your Sirmia. You want her to actually take turns.
Try me. This way.
Let me help you.
If that dual attack had been with Sirmia, we'd already be pushing phase, but at least it was with Mercedes and not with Hazel.
I'll bet my entire fortune on
And there we go. Phase 2 is over. We're into phase 3. Now this is where having Edward on your team is kind of nice. Vera will give herself a 3-turn immunity buff, and equivalent exchange off Edward can strip that. But that's okay. We need to waste some time building up our souls again. Our goal is to get Xeon to do his defense break one more time. So all we're doing now is stalling for time and building souls. Well, that and doing actual damage to the worm. Now these egg sacs, single target hits don't do much of any damage to them. I mean, I know I'm attack broken, but that barely scratched the surface. Versus looking at what Mercedes does here with her AoE attack.
Call, unveil your eye of terror.
So with Sirmia, or with any single target attack, send it into Vera, let your AoE attacks take care of those egg sacs.
This way.
We're 18 souls away, and we've only got 1 turn left on the immunity buff. That should line up pretty perfectly. Hazel keeps everybody healthy.
I shall honor you with my presence.
My greater attack buff's gone, so I'll go ahead and pop the S2, and while we have it, I might as well use the S3. I'm not going to burn, though. I want to save the souls so that I can use my Xeon skill.
Alright, try me. Attack!
Here I go. Will you help me?
We are down to 9 souls left.
Over with.
7.
I'll start. You're not bad at all.
Lilius's S3 can push back, and on stage 3, Vera is susceptible to being pushed back, so you can rip Vivian's S3 and try for the pushback. 4, 3, 2,
Obey me.
1.
Command me.
Okay, I could have used Xeon now. Actually, I should have used Xeon now, but I didn't realize it was ready. So I could have done that into a defense break, which would have been better. I just now noticed that Xeon's ready, so I will go ahead and proc him. He does pretty significant damage, but the most important thing is the defense break. But on stage 3, he does really big damage. Look at the number on Vera. Over 40k damage. Oh, wait, it's not done yet. It took a majority of Vera's bar.
I'll show you who's in charge.
We'll heal up into the defense break, and even if I hadn't dueled with Syrmia, she was next to go, and that would have ended the fight. 6 minutes and 39 seconds, and I think I wasted a minute on mishandling round 1. So, pretty fast clear and a very stable clear. Now, if you want to go ahead and collect the mini-bosses, it's not a terrible idea. Their loot table is very similar to the main bosses, except the main bosses always drop 88 gear. The mini-bosses only sometimes drop 88 gear, but they also have the galaxy bookmarks in their loot table as well. I didn't think they did. Those spots right there are the location of the only 2 mini-bosses left in Vera's area. Go ahead and pop out here, and there is the proof. I got 2 galaxy bookmarks, so one of the mini bosses had to drop the other one. Unfortunately, that helm is not one of the good ones. In fact, it's here, I'll show it to you. It's a pretty big hunk of garbage, so I will not be leveling that. But hopefully your drops are better than mine. If you have any questions about this team, ask them in the comments section, but hopefully this helps stabilize and speed clear your Nightmare Vera runs. Have a great one, everybody.